Welcome back to The Good Pod. I'm your host, Jackie, and today I'm sitting with someone who plays a very big role in daily life at Goodness Village, Sierra, one of our amazing support leads. Sierra works the day shift, and she's often the very first face that our neighbors see in the morning and a very steady presence throughout the day. In less than a year, she's built strong relationships with our community and brings a whole lot of care and heart into everything that she does. Today, we're going to talk to her about her journey to Goodness Village, what day-to-day life looks like at the village from her eyes, and some of the lessons that she's learned along the way. Sierra, welcome to The Good Pod.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice intro. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Okay. So how did you first hear about Goodness Village?
So I was a part of Crosslands Church for a long time. And I just remember they were talking about these tiny homes. And at the time I didn't really understand what it was. But I ended up moving away to Sacramento to pursue my bachelor's degree. And so once I finished that, I moved back to the Central Valley. And it was about a year after I got my bachelor's degree where I was like, I'm kind of tired of working these mindless jobs. I want to apply my degree. So I was just searching and I saw Goodness Village and I was like, that was what Crossland was talking about way back when. So I looked into it a little bit more and I realized that at the time we served the previously unhoused. And that actually really struck a chord with me because my family actually worked really closely with the unhoused. And my grandpa's brother, he owned a apartment complex. So at a very young age, I was helping out, volunteering with him, giving meals to them and stuff like that. So it just really resonated with me. I'm like, this is something that I'd be interested in doing.
Mm-hmm. So you're already familiar working with the unhoused population?
Sorta. I mean, it was when I was really young.
Okay.
So I definitely always had a heart for them when I, would see people on the streets or, I just have a very kind heart.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so is there a time that you can pinpoint that really made you think this place is different than any other place that I've worked for? Yeah,
I think it was really early on. I just felt like there's just so much support for everybody, not just staff, for the neighbors too. And I just realized, it's not just about providing housing. There's, we have the 24-hour support. There's the vocational, case management. I just feel like it's just so well-rounded. And yeah, so I learned early on it was very different from other places.
Mm-hmm. I remember in the early days when people would take tours of Goodness Village, they would often be so surprised that it didn't look like an encampment that's down the street from their house. It's very well put together, very clean. Neighbors are super friendly and very humble. Is there something that you could share with us that people may not realize about life at the village, or maybe they wouldn't expect life to be like at the village?
Yeah, it's just I feel like it's just like any other neighborhood, I go on my walks and I just see people doing their everyday routine.
Mm-hmm. And you've built some really nice bonds with them. You have a book club. You did journaling this morning.
Yes.
And so is there anything meaningful that you've learned from your interactions with the neighbors or in building your relationships with them?
For me, what's really meaningful is that they just always show up, even if they're having really tough days, they still come. They do their greeting, or they'll come to my book club, or they'll come to my motivational Wednesdays. So I just feel like they're always showing up and they're always giving to everybody, especially staff. They're just very kind and, they don't have a lot of things. So I really appreciate things that they do share with us. Mm-hmm. Mostly food, which is always appreciated.
I was going to say support staff never goes home hungry.
Yes.
At Goodness Village.
Very grateful.
So you recently were promoted to support lead. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what exactly that promotion means, support lead? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, so support lead is taking care of the Yellow House, our community center. Just ensuring it is clean, tidy, making sure we have all the supplies we need, and also being a stepping stone for support staff. It's a bridge between communication between support staff and a manager. And I also, on top of the mini trainings that all staff does here, we have like monthly trainings, annual trainings, quarterly. I do additional trainings as well, and I create like a summary of what I learned and share that with the support staff as well.
Nice. And is there anything you're excited about in this new role?
Yeah, I think just personal growth. I feel like I've grown so much already in the short time I've been here. And now that I'm more in a leadership role, I feel like I'm just going to continue to grow in all areas: communication, connection, stuff like that.
And as you mentioned, you've been here not a year yet, but still super involved with the village, so much so that you've been promoted to support lead. And the work that we do is very emotional at times. We're listening to traumas, childhood stories, all kinds of things. How do you stay grounded in this work, especially when you find it getting really emotional?
Yeah. I think, mental health is super important in taking care of your mental health, but also your physical health. I've learned that just exercising your body helps reduce your stress pretty much. So I think that really helps me. And also like hosting the book club or hosting the motivational Wednesdays also gives me a kind of break, a mental break. I also rely on my family. I don't necessarily like tell them everything, of course, but just relying on them, like, hey, I had a really hard day. Like, can we go do something fun for us and stuff like that? So that's how I stay grounded.
Nice. And you mentioned Motivational Wednesdays a couple times. I'm sure our listeners are curious what exactly that looks like.
Yeah, so it's a weekly thing I do. We listen to podcasts. We also do meditation or breath work. Sometimes I'll do journaling or artwork with them. But it really depends on how I'm feeling that week and what we need as a group. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. So kind of checking in on what everybody needs and then figuring out the activity afterwards.
Yeah, kind of.
Nice. And so a light, fun question for you. If the village had a spirit animal or a village mascot, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I would say a hummingbird because we have a lot of hummingbirds. But also hummingbirds are a symbol of joy and healing. And I feel like Goodness Village helps people get their joy back and also helps them heal.
Nice. That was beautiful. And we do have a lot of hummingbirds if you have not been to the village. Is there a small everyday moment that always makes you smile?
Yeah, I just think like when the neighbors come in and say hi, I think it just always makes me feel good because they're coming in to say hi to me, not just to come in, and just my other interactions when Mama walks, they always look you in the eye and they always say hi to you. So that makes me smile.
Nice. And so if someone who's listening wanted to join the team or they were thinking about volunteering, what is something that you would want them to know before they come to the village?
I would want them to know that, try not to have that stigma of the unhoused. They're just people, they've just been through a lot. We have all been through things. And yeah, they're just people. And there's a lot of opportunity here, a lot of training for those who want to be on the team, but are kind of like not sure if they're going to be able to do this type of work. You can also just come volunteer and see if you're interested that way. And for the volunteers, there's just so much to do. It doesn't even have to be this extravagant event that you do. You could just simply come watch a movie or do artwork or something like that. So just keep that in mind.
Nice. And final question for you, and this is something I ask all of our guests, and that is, what does being a good neighbor mean to you?
Being a good neighbor to me is being compassionate and just understanding that other people, they've all been through things and they may be a little bit different from you, but they're still people and they should still be respected and just being kind to others.
Well, Sierra, thank you so much for your time. We sincerely appreciate it. I'm sure the neighbors miss you, so we'll send you back to the yellow house. But it's very clear through your answers how much heart you bring to the work that you do and how passionate you are about Goodness Village in such a short amount of time. And we really appreciate your presence here and how you make our neighbors feel on a regular basis.
Thank you, Jackie.
As always, listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to The Good Pod, share this conversation with your community, and stay tuned for more stories. Remember, being a good neighbor isn't about where you live, it's about how you show up. Until next time, listeners. Thank you for listening to the Goodness Village podcast. Production and recording was done by the Goodness Village operations team with support from Crosswinds Church. Music was provided by Blue Dot Sessions. If you want to know more about Goodness Village, visit us at gvlivermore.org. Thanks again for listening to The Good Pod.